Just live.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Adrienne, Capricorntigress of Astrology, a look inside, and I'm coming to you today with two special guests. This has been such an exciting day, and it's only getting better because we have Vaishali, Nikhade, right? I hope I'm saying it correctly, and Marie Martin, and these are two wonderful guests that we have here. Vaishali is an expert psychic with an uncanny accuracy in her predictions for future boyfriend girlfriend readings. And she's done over 7,000 readings revealing clients' future relationships, relationship issues, and guidance to move forward. Vaishali is the host of the podcast, The Uncanny Link. And where psychics meet physics and or science meets woo. And she's appeared on nearly 50 top podcasts talking about her intuitive expertise. So I'm really excited to have Vaishali here. And we have the wonderful Marie Martin. And Marie Martin is a transformation coach that helps successful women consciously balance their lives to align with their higher selves through modalities of oracle readings, reiki, and much more. And she has a group on Facebook. Looks like the God is Real M group. And so we're going to go ahead and start with these two wonderful women. And I'm so excited to have you both here. I'm going to go like I've been doing all day. We're going to go by alphabetical order. And so we're going to start with you, Marie Martin. Tell me a little bit. How did you get started? How did you find out about your gift?
So I started with actually the death of my best friend on my birthday. And that really took me down to rock bottom. And so I was out there and I was searching desperately, trying to figure out how to get over this. And so that led me to my first mentor. And she told me about my gifts. And that just opened my eyes. And I was able to just realize that I was a self healer and an energetic healer. And so I was able to go through her program and I was able to heal myself of this, grief that I had held on to, and was able to release her and free myself in the process.
Great. It's wonderful when you can heal yourself with the modality that you've learned, and it's beautiful. Vaishali, tell me a little bit about how you got started, because you're this intuitive psychic, and tell me how that all got started for you.
Sure. So I was actually seeking some help related to work, and I started seeing psychics because I thought that psychics could see the future, so they could tell me what my future was going to be. How hard could that be? So I called a couple of psychics, and I said, "You guys can predict the future, so tell me what's going to happen." And I wasn't able to get any satisfactory answers. So I said, you know what, maybe they're not the right ones. So then I moved on to like a few more. And I kept experimenting. So for some people, it just takes a long time to learn, and I could be one of them. I kept experimenting, and by the time I was done, I had gone through like 40, 50 psychics. And at the end of that, I threw my hands up in the air and I said, oh my God, these people have no clue what they're talking about. I better learn this myself. So I decided to learn it myself. And I come from a science background. So I used to be an engineer before I became a psychic. And I said that if this thing is even remotely real, then I should be able to verify this on myself and I should be able to see my own predictions play out. Otherwise, this is all just a bunch of baloney.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to start experimenting by playing with the readings on my own self. And, I said if you could see out for, let's say, like, 3 months, 6 months, however much the time period could be, you could also see closer. And I started with like 1 hour reading experimentations. Like, if I can predict what's going to happen within the next hour or two, then it's very easy to verify. So it's just like a scientific experiment. You take one ball and two balls, one more ball, and then you have two balls. So you can verify that now you have two balls, you're holding one in each hand. So I used to go to the gym in the morning, back in the time when gyms used to be open, long time back. So I would go and look at my reading before I would go to the gym, and then after I would come back, I would compare as to what I predicted and how it played out. And this happened like 3, 4 days in a row. I was kind of able to predict my own future. And that was kind of scary because after the first few days, I thought that it could be a fluke. But after 3 or 4 days, I said that no, this is actually real. So I said, if it's real, then, I can change my future, because if I can see something, I can change it. So I decided that day that I was going to change my future. And I said, whatever the reading says, I'm just going to do the opposite. And it was like my cardio day. I used to have cardio days and weight days. It was my cardio day. So I said that if the reading says that I'm going to run, then I'll do the Stairmaster. And if the reading says that I'll do the Stairmaster, then I'll run. And what the reading showed is that no matter what I did, I would be right and the reading would also be right.
Ah.
So do you want to guess what it was?
Or 50-50. I don't know.
Yeah, you're close. It showed woman at crossroads. So, which means
Mm.
that no matter what I chose, both of us would be right. So then I changed my perspective and how to look at things. And I started more experimentations on myself. And then once I was done, then I started reading for other people.
Awesome.
The fact that you narrowed it down to a science, like you said, you had a scientific background,
Right.
but that you actually narrowed it down. And so now you've got an exact science of how you do your readings,
Yes.
probably based on probabilities, nothing else.
Not really probabilities. It's actually a science. It's just a different way of looking at things, and most of us are not taught that. So I think
Mhm.
it's a learned science.
Learned skills.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
learned skill.
Beautiful. And Marie, you were talking about how you got started. And you meant here that you're a transformational coach.
Yes.
Um, as a transformational coach, what have you seen that's really like with your work? How have you seen your work um, help others?
Yeah. So recently, my client, she just had a breakthrough about her relationship, and she just decided, um, she's making steps to kind of get out of it. She just realized that she was not happy, and so she's um, just with the readings and the reiki that I've given her, she's made those steps towards trying to just be happy. She was so unhappy, and she didn't realize that she had given so much of her power away in this relationship. And the more we talk, and the more that she realizes that she did that, she's taking it back, and she's starting to feel empowered, and she's starting to get out there again, and she's trying to like start her business again, and she's just feeling so different. It was just amazing to see and to feel, and like I can feel her energy like while we're talking, and she just gets so excited when we talk.
That's amazing. You had mentioned that you had learned healing. I just became a sacred soul alignment healer, And what what led you? You had said the death of your friend led you to
Yes.
that. So you
Yeah,
use that
because it
transfer.
led me to the mentor, and she told me that I was a natural energetic healer.
Mm.
And so I was able to heal myself with her techniques. But I didn't have the structure necessarily. So then I started taking Reiki courses, and I am now a Reiki master.
Wow.
So now I'm able to use the modalities of Reiki as well as my natural energetic healing abilities.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you've done that. And I'm so excited because I have two people and I can kind of bounce back and forth between the two of you. And your work is so closely aligned. You both do readings, but you do them in different ways. Like for, with Vaishali, she's more of a psychic reader. And as she mentioned, it kind of is down to a science almost, more so than just the healing. Have you found as a psychic reader that you've been able to help others or heal others with that ability as well, Vishali?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to Marie. um, I'm sorry. What was the question?
I had asked as a psychic healer
Hmm.
or psychic, intuitive. Have you found that you've been able to help with others with problems with that as well, or
Yeah.
healing
So
others?
essentially, I think you can look at readings as a tool for problem solving and a tool for knowing what's to come and how to properly address it, kind of a thing. So some of the clients that come to me, they come to me for financial readings. And essentially, a lot of these are business clients. And they want to know, like, if their project is going to be successful or not.
Hmm.
Like one of the guys I was reading, this was a while back when I first got started in my first few years.
Hmm.
He was going to give away 150,000 to somebody for getting some gemstones. And I told him that he would lose the money. So he decided to ask that person for their plane tickets. And believe it or not, they were not able to come up with the plane tickets. So he pulled the
Wow.
deal
So
off.
he might have went somewhere. I just saw a movie like that on Netflix. Guy
For
was
it.
killing off people with gems and then selling the gems, of
You're
course.
right. So that's what he was trying to do, but the person he was associated with was not real. Let's just put it that way, or his transaction was not real. And
Yes.
I gave him that prediction, and then he kind of pulled the deal off. And then on the other side of the coin is the love readings, which about 70% of my clients, that is their pathway to come to me. Most of them come for love readings, or a lot of them, let's just say. And for those people, I have been able to predict their future girlfriend and boyfriend descriptions.
Oh, that's
And back when I started, this was back in 2014. So there were some clients who started back then. They are actually still with me. So I have been predicting their boyfriends. So I think we've been through like three or four by now. So I predict each time, and then she calls me and she says, "Oh my God, this is the guy."
that's great. So, how much of this do you think is inherent ability, and how much do you feel is learned ability? Because, as Marie stated, she felt like she's a natural energetic healer. Did you feel that you had some natural gift prior to learning the technique that you discovered for yourself?
Yeah, I think all of us are born with it. It's just a matter of getting in touch with it and tuning into it and being able to use it. It's like running. All of us or most of us are fortunate enough to have two legs. Some people will kind of go for a walk, maybe once a day, some will go once a week, some will go once a month, kind of a thing. And then the others who want to go further, they will start doing like short runs, and they'll run like a 5K or a 10K. And then the others will go even further and run like a half marathon or full marathon, right? So everybody is using the same abilities, which is their two legs, but they're just using it to a different extent.
Mhm.
So the people who do like the half and full marathon, they're like a lot more dedicated. They put in a lot more time, and then they see the results. Like if they want to lose weight or whatever, if they just want to run the race.
Mhm.
And doing the readings is kind of similar. You have like a higher level, which is known as an intuitive, which will, or they'll just say that, oh, this doesn't feel right, kind of a thing. And for me, that's like fluff. I need like more substance. And then you go down to the deepest level where you can actually get down and predict down to the very detail, as you know, where you're going to meet this person,
Mhm.
what's he going to look like, what kind of profession will he have, all these kind of things.
Mhm. That's amazing. I happen to be an intuitive astrologer, so I don't know how fluff that is, but I've been at it for 40 years, so
Oh,
a
wow,
long
long time.
time. And I still have, the other day, one of my first client, well, not my very first, but one of my first paying clients after 40 years had came to me on Facebook and asked me a question again. I think that's a really good vibe to think they're still trusting you after
Yeah,
40 years.
that's amazing.
There's something in that. Do either of you use astrology in your readings at all, or tarot, or I know you do oracle cards, right, Marie?
I do oracle cards, yes.
Yeah.
And I look at astrology, as far as my own personal astrology. If someone else wants to talk about astrology, I definitely could talk about astrology, but it's not my main focus.
Not the main focus. It's more of the esoteric of the cards. It's wonderful because we're all doing helping people with the gifts that we've been given, but we're all doing it in different ways and somehow arriving at these answers that are helping people to change their lives. And
Right.
so what we're doing, of course, is amazing work. And so I feel really honored to be here with both of you right now, just so that you know that. Um, One of the things that I thought was amazing, Vishali, is that you did go to like 40 or 50 psychics before learning it yourself. That's amazing. Like I almost wonder if like what made you do such research. That is a very research oriented person. And I just love that that you've done that. And also, I wanted to make a note that Vishali has shared a link to what was that a free love reading or
Freebie, yeah. So what the freebie I have is essentially if you would like to get a description of your future love, then when you opt in, it will give you a description of what your next boyfriend or girlfriend is going to look like.
I love it. Oh, I got to do that one.
That's nice.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. There's one thing I'm looking at Vishali's notes, and I love something that she said here, and it said that one of the things she's most proud of is the way her accuracy of her predictions play out. But also that if someone wants to do what you do, that always practice on yourself first. Like always practice on yourself first. And I think that is really great advice. Really
Yeah,
great.
because unless you can do things for yourself and make the predictions for yourself, then you don't know with certainty how they are going to play out for somebody else. Because, it's like learning a skill. You think that one thing is going to happen, but when you go and experiment, something else happens. And I'll give you an analogy of running because I think it's the easiest to relate to. You
Mhm.
see this, let's say that you're driving by going to the grocery store and you see this guy running on the street, and when you're coming back you still see him running on the street. He's probably training for a marathon. And how if you think how hard can it be, you go and start training for a marathon, and before you run 3 miles you're like, oh my god, I don't think I can run any longer. So it's a lot more challenging than what you thought it was, but it comes in stages. It's not something that comes overnight, and it can be developed. So doing readings is the same way. Initially when you start out, you can probably make like a few predictions, and your accuracy is so-so, or whatever you may want to call it. It's a beginner level accuracy, and everyone goes through that phase. And then as you start graduating and, running more distances in the case of the marathon training, and in this case, doing more readings, then you start getting more and more in terms of accuracy, you start getting more and more details. And you also refine and revise your methods based on, the number of questions that come to you and the type of questions and everything. And then it kind of all becomes like one big puzzle, and you're trying to figure out how to solve it.
I love it. It almost makes me wonder, like your personality sounds almost like you're either a Virgo or a Scorpio, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
Um,
in the Western thing, I'm a Capricorn.
I'm a Capricorn. That's so weird. I wonder how much you have Virgo or Scorpio going on in your chart. There's something in you that wants to know. And I know as a Capricorn, I had that, so it could just be inherent in Capricorn. That not that desire for knowledge, and that's amazing that it's taken you this far because of that desire to know. I'm looking at Marie Martin's information here, and she said, even though I'm new to the space, I'm already seeing shifts in my clients. I'm divorced from a narcissist that I was with for 20 years, and I have a trans son, and I was a burlesque dancer for 2 years. She had said nothing's off limits, so I thought that was interesting. The reason I mentioned that, Marie, is I was married, or I'm separated from a man who I believe, I've done all the research, appeared to be a covert narcissist. And that was a very devastating situation coming out. I'm still recovering. Um, I think I might still have remnants, although I've done a lot of Ho'oponopono. How did you find, what did you do to recover from a 20-year marriage?
Well, it was almost like all in one time. Like I got divorced, then my son came out, so I had to like mourn the loss of my daughter. And then, then I had my friend die. So it all happened like all at the same time within like 3 months. And so I was kind of just mourning all of it at once. And, there was a lot of times where I just woke up in a panic and I wasn't sure exactly which one, was the most holding on to. But there was multiple times where I could definitely pick out that it was, that situation with him, like, because I felt like we were a certain way and then he just like threw something at me and, telling me that he had cheated on me and that he wanted to be with other people. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, I thought we were good. Like, so it was very shocking to me. We had been together since we were 13, 14 years old. And I was just shocked.
I know the feeling. I'm still shocked because I've never experienced it before, but out of the blue, he just decided he didn't love me anymore. That was it. Never seen him or heard from him again. Now, that to me was abnormal because even when I've broken up with ex-boyfriends, they didn't do that.
Right.
Like disappear forever. And I knew there was something amiss there. And so I'd started doing the research and I realized, oh, that was certain things, that were done. I thought, oh, he just has a bad personality, but no, it was part of it. And so I guess a lot of us have been through this. Have you experienced any people coming to you with issues around this or anything?
Around people who are
in abusive relationships or in a
yeah,
narcissist?
I actually do that. I do get quite a few people who are like that. Well, I get all sorts of people. I'll give you a few examples. There are people who are in abusive relationships, and as a professional, I don't really question them. I kind of ask them whatever it is that they are looking for. I don't give them free advice because they are paying me for the time they're working with me. So I have to keep that boundary and just give them kind of the information that they are looking for. Now, if somebody asks me, that's a different question. So that's like one kind of one segment of people. there is other segments of people where, you know, the girl and the guy, they're both kind of married to different people, and she's cheating with somebody else. And the other guy with whom she's cheating, that guy is also married.
Oh, God.
So I'm like,
Bad
at this point,
situation.
you have to stop understanding what is going on, and you have to just look at it and answer the questions and move on with your life.
Yes.
Like, it's not good no matter what way I look at this
I'm
situation.
like, what are you missing?
That's hilarious. You know, it's so funny. I was at the psychics one-on-one. I still am, but I don't log on as often because I would get so much of that. Like people calling me like, well, he moved out with this girl and I think they might be having a baby, but I still want him and he wanted to have sex with me. And I'm thinking, wait, there is everything wrong with this scenario. Like it makes no sense. Like, why would you put up with that? Like, if he left you and moved out with someone else, that should be it. Like, I know I might be wrong, but where's your personal autonomy? So there is, I have a hard time. I have not mastered the art of keeping my mouth quiet. I I am known as an extremely honest astrologer to the point where some people were like, "Oh, you're not supposed to tell them, you know, this or that." And I'm like, "But it came out." I mean, so do you guys ever go through that where you have that urge to just like girlfriend, look, I don't know what, you know. And I have to admit, I am a girlfriend kind of astrologer, but I know they say not to do that. Have either of you felt that as an issue, maybe where you want to tell them?
I can chip in. So essentially, when something, so there's two types of clients. One is, you know, the clients who come to me on a regular basis, and the ones who don't. They're more like one-off kind of a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and or maybe like once in a blue moon kind of clients. So for the ones that are the regulars, I just tell them that, hey, listen, they ask a question, and I say, listen, this information is not so nice. Do you really want to know? And about 99.9% of the times they say yes. So I just give it to them. And for the ones that are more like one-off kind of clients, I just tell them anyway in a very professional manner, because with them I haven't built that bond or rapport where I have the freedom to ask them that, hey, do you really want to know? But, you know, if this is your question, then, you know, this is what I see. And I can tag it with hopefully I'm wrong kind of a thing in some scenarios, but that's about the extent to which I go.
Yeah.
And they come back. And actually, one of the girls, you know, this was when I first started reading. One of the girls, she came to me and she said that she was doing a real estate transaction and it was supposed to close in 2 days. And I'm like, I don't see it closing. And she's like, oh, this person has this money on the line, and I have this investor and that investor and this and that. I said, listen, I don't see it closing. And then, you know, she kind of disappeared. Then she came back after 1 year and she introduced herself and she told me who she was. She said, you had predicted that real estate transaction. She said, it actually never closed because it was too complicated. So yeah, so it's always better to kind of say whatever it is that you're saying, and then, you know, let it play out in real life and see what happens.
Wow. Did that save her money by you giving her that tip?
I don't know. She didn't tell me all that information. All I knew is that she told me that whatever I said, it actually played out.
That's amazing though, when you have a client come back to you and they say everything you said happened exactly as you said. That is a freaky feeling. I haven't really tapped into a science of what it is when it happens. So it still freaks me out. You're pretty calm with it. Like,
Now I've been doing this for a while now, so for me it's like flipping the hand and giving the information.
that's so funny. Like, it's been years for me and I still get freaked out when it's exactly on point. Like, it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up because I realize how did that exactly what like, oh. And then you realize you're a channel or conduit to some kind of information that, because sometimes, I don't know if either of you guys feel this way, but sometimes I'll feel like I'm getting the information, but I don't really know for sure. I just feel like I'm a channel, I'm a conduit for this, whatever. Do either of you feel that way?
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible. Like when I send Reiki to people, how, they come back and they're just like, would this have me like not tell the truth to someone? And I'm like, yeah, if it's not conducive to what they need to hear, yeah, it would stop you from telling them. Like they don't need to hear that. Like you need to know that, there are things that people don't need to hear. So it'll stop you from talking.
Mhm.
You need to speak your truth, but to people that need to hear it, not just to everybody. You're not just out there blabbing your story to everybody. Not
Right.
everybody needs to hear it.
And then knowing how to say it in such a way that it doesn't hurt. That's the other part. That's the
Yes.
part I'm working on. I've got Mercury in the first house with Saturn, so it's just anything below. So yeah. But I understand what you're saying. Some people don't need to hear some of the bad things. And I think intuitively we can feel that when we're doing the reading. Like if someone's, at least for me, if I sense that someone is fragile, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I might hold off on something because I sense the fragility in the message. Like they're not ready to hear that. They can't take that. And so yeah. So at least I know it's not a wrong thing to hold back when that happens because I have held back on that. Also, I just wanted to mention Marie wanted to promote her one-to-one program, Goddess Alignment. And would that be through your justrocket.net? Is that how they would find that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So we would need to get on a phone call just to pre-qualify you for the program to make sure that you're ready to go through the program.
Beautiful. And so that would they would just go to the justrocket.net. I'm going to put the link up so that people can see it, and then they can schedule the call with you,
Yes.
and then just discover, how far they're going to go. It's beautiful. And with Vaishali, I'm going to put the link up for them to get the free love reading, future love birthday prediction. Oh, this one is future boyfriend girlfriend readings. So I'll make sure we get that link up there as well.
Yeah. So once you sign up, you will receive the description of your next girlfriend or boyfriend, what they are going to look like.
Oh,
Or you get a sneak peek.
Gotta do it. I gotta do it. I love that. That is very, very catchy. I love it. So I've been running my mouth and I feel like I've been doing too much talking. So I'm going to give both of you guys an opportunity to say anything that you would like to say before we go. Marie, I'm going to start with you because again, I'm going alphabetically. I'm not sure what I didn't cover or what you might have wanted to say. So take this moment to say whatever is on your heart.
Yeah, so with the program, we're going to start with just some breathing and some grounding before we open up the channel to your higher self. And then after we open that up, then we'll go into some healing of your own. And I'll teach you how to self-heal yourself. Super excited.
Beautiful. And that's at the justrocket.net.
Yes.
And Vaishali?
Yeah, sure. So if you guys are interested to work with me, then if of course you're single and looking for someone, or you're married and looking for someone, depending on what kind of category you fall in, you are welcome to opt in for the future girlfriend boyfriend reading. If not, if you're not looking for anyone, then you can go to my main website and you can either sign up for like a free weekly forecast, which I do. And what I do is every week I give out a prediction of how your week is going to play out. And a lot of my clients actually use it to plan their week. So you could do that. Or if you're interested in going ahead and scheduling a reading with me, then, just click on scheduling a reading, and I would love to read you. And if you have any problems, just hit me up through the contact us button, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Just tell me that you saw me on this podcast.
Sounds fantastic. And I'm going to definitely check out the little readings too, because they sounded great. I want to see what my next boyfriend's going to look like. So, you guys, it's been such a pleasure. And I am so grateful to both of you guys for stopping by to chat with us. This is actually my first day doing these podcasts and doing guests, because I'm changing the format for my Facebook or my YouTube and I guess everything. And so it's such an honor that you guys were a part of the first crew of people to come and show up and talk about your businesses and your spiritual path. And so thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank
So
you so
honored.
much for having me.
My
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
My pleasure. I'm going to put on some good party music as we ease on out of this. And thanks again, you guys. Much love to you both.
Thank you.